gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Yo, set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood and...
So moving on to the next one, we're going to talk about depression. Depression is something that we have really lately been coming out and speaking out against, is depression. And a lot of people make jokes about it. I see memes where people are like, oh, I'm too depressed to do the dishes. And they're like, or they'll say, oh, I'm depressed. And then they're like, you better depress yourself in there and do them dishes. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, people are starting to make memes about it and everything. But depression is no joke, you guys. So many people, actually depression is one of, mental health, but I talk about depression. Depression is one of the most common silent killers that people do not talk about. And it's always the funny person. It's always the quiet person. It's always the person who's doing the best in school. It's never the ones who people think. You know what I'm saying? People are like, oh, they were so good at this. And then the next thing you know, unfortunately, this person has passed away. They have taken their life. A lot of times, depression is very, very big for me because I am someone who suffers from depression. And I am so passionate about it because I know of people, I've lost people from depression, and I know others who have lost people from depression. And like I said, I don't feel like it's talked about enough. People just kind of expect you to just push your feelings constantly to the side. And that's why a lot of people deal with issues, because we are not taught how to deal with our issues. That's something that's just not taught in school. It's like when you have so many events that can happen in your life and you're not taught on how to deal with your feelings, you're taught just to sweep it under the rug and keep on going, coming to work and keep on showing up every day, and you're not talking about it, and that leads to problems. The thing is, we have to learn how to face these emotions head on. All trauma things, we have to learn how to deal with it right then and there, because if you wait, they don't go away. They just wait until it becomes a snowball. And basically this snowball, it grows and it grows, and then you'll get to a certain point in your life where it just takes over and you're feeling miserable. And now you have to learn how to deal with all the things that you weren't facing. So I'm all for facing how you feel right then and there. If you experience something traumatic, face it. If you feel something that really destroyed you or hurt your feelings, face it. Take time to deal with it. Face it so that you can move forward. And sometimes that takes time. And a lot of times we just want to get over stuff. We want a quick fix. That's what we all about now. We're about quick actions, quick fixes, quick delivery. We need it quick. But the thing is, things don't happen that quickly sometimes. Sometimes it might, but then sometimes it might take a little time for things to go into play. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to talk about, and I know we are going over these kind of fast, and on another video we will talk about things we can do to help deal with, some of these topics. So another thing we're going to talk about is PTSD. From what I know and understand, it's just basically when you have went through a severe traumatic event, okay? And basically it has causes flashbacks. It causes you to feel like pretty much that you are reliving that scenario. So when something happened or something triggers you, you feel like you're right back in that scenario. And that is very scary. And if you don't know how to deal with it, it can really cripple you, because it takes a lot of work to be able to live with dealing with PTSD. A lot of work. Something I did not know is that you can have complicated PTSD, which is something that I'm diagnosed with. And it's pretty much that you've had several trauma events happen in your life, and it's complicated. You know what I'm saying? It's not just one. Normally they categorize it as one trauma event, PTSD. But when you have several, they call it complicated PTSD, because multiple trauma events have happened. So yes, that is PTSD. PTSD is post-trauma stress disorder. Or post-traumatic stress disorder. And yes, you also, we hear this a lot in our military. People who've been in the military. You'll hear it a lot. You know, people. That's why sometimes when I'm talking to people and it's like, "Hey, do you suffer from PTSD?" They'll next ask, "Have you been in the military?" Because a lot of people who come from the military do suffer with PTSD. But like I said, a lot of people aren't taught how to deal with PTSD. Um, so yes, these are the three main topics: anxiety disorder, depression, and PTSD. They say are the top topics in mental health illnesses that people talk about the most or express the most. Now, I'm sure there are many, like I said, there's so many mental illnesses out there. There's a ton, and we probably won't get to go through all of them on this channel. It'd be great if we can, but I don't see that happening because there's just so many. But I'm gonna do my best, you all, to talk about the main top mental health illnesses that you will hear, the most common ones, the most that I feel that society deals with. So we will talk about those, okay? And I'll talk about as many as I can, as you know, as much as possible. I'll talk about as much as I can. Um, so yeah, there's a brief explanations of those different categories of mental illnesses, and in my next video, you all, we will kind of dive a little bit deeper and talk about basically how to deal with these, you know, or just some tips to help. Okay, because these things take time. They take a lot of time. And sometimes you may live your whole life with this mental illness and you have to learn how to function with this mental illness. So I will give you any tips that I feel can be helpful, um, and pray that, hey, that eventually you won't have to deal with it. But, you know, I'm definitely going to do my best to try to make your life easier and having to survive with a mental illness. So, you all, that is all for today. I know it's a lot to take in, but I can't wait to see you all next time, and I hope that you all have a great day. Talk to you all soon. Bye.